tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Just like the Pied Piper, this episode fucking rules. Sorry for the explicit, but god dang, this is a great episode of Sleepy Hollow.
Dude, the Pied Piper in this episode was such a metal look.
Oh my god, yeah. It was great. I liked it. Guys,
like, this is so appropriate.
Thank you for tuning in to the after show here at AfterBuzz TV for Sleepy Hollow, your favorite show, our favorite show. We're here jamming out to some Megadeth, talking about the Pied Piper. This is season 2, episode 4, entitled "Go Where I Send Thee."
No, I refuse.
Before the head explodes. Okay, I'm gonna totally start jamming out to Megadeth.
Megadeth is too much. Like the Pied Piper explodes in this episode, and
seriously,
and Ichabod's driving skills explode.
Another appropriate song to begin with could have been "Shot Through the Heart" or replacing it with "Stab Through the Heart," because that's what happened to the Pied Piper.
Womp womp.
Spoiler alert. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Of course, this is season 2, episode 4. Go Where I Send Thee. This is the AfterBuzz TV After Show. You will notice that I'm not Matt Lieberman, but I will still do random yelling as you have come to expect from him, and adjusting your volume knob as you have come to expect from him.
We know your hand is already on the dial.
I am Stephen Lemieux.
And I'm Zach Wilson.
Who put a question mark on the teleprompter? That's how I was saying it. Yeah. Guys, all right. This is a great episode. I'm sorry that we don't have Jackie, who you can find at 123_Jack or Jackie_B, and Matt Lieberman at Matt Lieberman. I'm sad that they're not here because this was probably one of the better ones this season.
It was a fun episode.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the whole, like, what was it called? Rock and Renteus. It reminded me of that episode from last season.
Which one was that?
The Dream Fairy. What?
Oh, the Sandman?
Sandman, yeah. It reminded me of the Sandman because it's kind of like, it's like an old tale. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're bringing in the histories, but we're also kind of bringing in the fairy tale aspect of it. And it wasn't so focused on the main story that you're like, because we kind of need these episodes to break it up a bit, because the first 3 episodes were all about, like, my son's the horseman, my son's the horseman, my son's the horse. Let's just talk about some crazy demons right now.
Yeah, because it was starting to feel a little bit like stalled on that track. Yeah. Like, you know, they're waiting to do something bigger with it.
Yeah, like, we know that they can't really go forward without going too far because we still have 8 episodes left this season. So we get this nice juicy monster episode, which opens up very creepily with, you hear this music and this girl's walking out of her room and she just keeps walking, which is not good. I don't feel like the girl, like a 10-year-old, should be walking out of her house and just walking into the woods. Doesn't seem like it's
a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag. It's probably not normal. Maybe it's normal, but in this case, I don't think it's normal. Okay, so we're gonna break down. I want to just go ahead and run through Orlando Jones's character first. Just get that out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's off on his own anyway.
Yeah, so we got Henry Parrish is visiting him in the hospital, and we get, before that actually, we get Orlando holding a book and looking up in the Bible. I think it was the Bible. Correct?
He had the Bible, and he also had something specifically about the end of days.
Yeah,
like, he had a separate book about the end of days.
And he's reading, and suddenly the pages start burning, and we get this flashback of, not even really a flashback, like a flash forward in a way of what's going to happen at the end of days. And we see Orlando Jones, aka Frank Irving, with like a sword stabbing people and explosions and fire and brimstone and Satan on a horse. Well, I mean the Horseman of Fire with Henry Parrish just sitting there like happily watching from afar. I thought it was awesome, and he had black eyes. It's crazy.
It was creepy. And do you think it was a straight up premonition?
Oh yeah, totally.
Like that's gonna happen. Like we're gonna see that by the end of the season.
Straight up premonition. I don't think it's a straight up premonition, but I think it's like just with Ichabod seeing what could happen with Katrina. I think this is like a second one we're getting this season of like things that we're seeing the possible future. So like it's interesting because we look at Frank's character last episode, and all he's worrying about is like, I don't care, I'm not going to stay here, I'm going to go see my family. And now he's kind of second guessing that. He's like, well, I saw a book kind of burn in my hands, and I saw myself stab a guy. I mean, Brick stabbed a guy, but now Frank Irving stabbed a guy.
Much more concerning.
Much more concerning. And he ran the guy through. He like crazy stuff. It looked pretty awesome.
And like obviously something he doesn't want to do.
But then he confronts Henry Parrish, and Henry's like, yeah, that's who I am. Yeah, I'm not going to deny it.
What of it?
Yeah, what of it? And he's like, I think you should look up a certain situation here, because I guess your parole hearing will just not be scheduled. And maybe the money that I have procured for your family will just not get to your family. And Frank's like, don't leave my family alone. It's like, oh, well, I guess your court date's just gonna never happen. Maybe you should look to Ezekiel 18:4 in your trusty little Bible that's helped you out so much thus far. Not really. And check out that passage. And the passage says, and his name shall be writ. I think it was correct.
Behold, all souls are mine.
That's right. So,
especially the ones that have been signed over with a blood contract.
Blood pen, yeah.
That one makes it a little easier.
Perhaps you signed your soul over to me with the blood pen. Yeah. I'm doing like the Stewie Griffin thing. No, yeah, so this is the point where Frank kind of realizes that he's in deep doo-doo. And he is basically the horseman's bitch at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically, because not only is his parole hearing, like he could just sit there if his family is going to be okay, but they're also getting assistance from certain funds, having him in the asylum.
Well, just the fact that he brought his family into it means that they could kill his family at any time they wanted to, so...
Yeah, he realizes that he is not in control of the situation at all.
Not at all.
He has no power.
No power. He has the power to cut himself on a pen and decide to sign it in his own blood, but whoopsie.
Well, yeah.
Shouldn't have done that. He's probably thinking, oh, I shouldn't have signed that paper. So if you guys are ever in jail and a mysterious lawyer shows up claiming to have everything under control, it's either Saul Goodman or it's freaking the third horseman of the apocalypse.
If you cut yourself, if your finger bleeds while you're signing, maybe wait for a new pen. At the minimum, unless
like you're buying a car, in which case they that you're going to have to cut yourself and sign it in blood, or like student loans. It's actually a requirement with student loans that you slit your wrist and just pour it out over the page before you sign.
Sounds about right.
Those things follow you to the grave.
I remember that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that was the sound I made when I got my student loans. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what Katrina did this episode. She did the same thing she did every episode.
Nothing?
Nothing, because we didn't even see her.
I want
Hashtag shade.
I want her to have something to do. Like, she's off screen for this one, so that's fine. Like, she's prisoner again. Disappointing. She can be a strong character. I will stand in my defense of Katrina.
I agree.
I just don't like. It's like they're keeping her on ice, and I'm not sure what for. At this point,
it's like she's in some like writing purgatory or something right now.
Jar.
I know, right? What is it? $10?
God, no, we're already way above that. I think we were at like 13. But let's just keep track of this episode. We'll figure it out.
All right, let's just say it's 13.
Okay.
And with that, it's 13.
Okay.
So yeah, she's I really hope they can pull her out. I think it's really just because they want to focus on the other things before they let her loose. Because I still feel like they're waiting on certain story developments to happen for it to make sense whether she goes good or bad, because I still think there's potential for her to be a bad character, just not in the sense like we're thinking it's all good and evil, but there's really good, evil, and then Coven.
Well, that's the thing. There's good, like a good show has good, evil, and gray. Like
a good show has so many different like facets to good and evil.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you want, but most people should be living in that gray area. Like you're always gonna have bad guys that you know are bad, even if you understand their motivations. They're still bad. Like Henry is a conflicted character for us because we want him to be good because we have who his parents are. We want him to come back over. We've seen him have that emotional moment with the bed, so we can see there's like a little bit in there where he's still
just enough that you can think you have hope.
Yeah, just enough. But
shout out to John Noble.
Yeah, he's such a good actor.
Killing it. I live tweeted. I DVR tweeted today.
Not live tweet.
I did hashtag DVR tweet, and even out of all my jokes, I just like had to like tweet out like real talk. John Noble is phenomenal in this role. Yeah. Every role he does, it's just absolutely amazing. And the fact that we can think of his character in that way, just from his subtle like movements of his facial expression, from seeing the
tiny, like for the most part, he's evil. He's the horseman of war.
What is it good for? I've already done that one. It doesn't count.
All right.
Absolutely nothing though.
Anyway.
Yeah, and
then Irving, if he goes over in this way, like now he's just like a soldier, but he's gonna have to be stopped.
I mean, I'm interested to see if they want to make Irving the Horseman of War, and I'm interested to see where John Noble, aka Henry Parrish, what his character does when he loses all his powers.
Well, keep in mind, we're still missing 2 horsemen.
Oh, totally.
We still got 2 to go.
Irving could be they want 5 seasons out of the show, so I don't think...
Yeah.
I think they got to hold off on some horsemen. I mean, we've seen Pestilence.
Oh, I guess we saw the 4 of them riding, but, like, we haven't met them.
We slightly met Pestilence.
Did we?
Yeah, remember? Pestilence was the plague that came to the town. Or was that trying to summon Pestilence?
I didn't think we like saw the horseman yet.
Yeah, we haven't saw who the horseman is. Completely.
Yeah, especially that, like, because with the introduction of the ghost armor that Henry's controlling, like, who knows how the next 2 horsemen will be introduced.
It's interesting because you have Headless as this soldier from Ichabod's past, and we've met. It's like 2 different characters because when she's wearing the necklace, we can meet the character who is Headless, and then we have Headless.
They're both tied to Ichabod. What if the other 2 have to be tied to
I mean,
Abby?
It would make sense.
Instead, because she's a witness just as much. What if it's 2 and 2? Like, these 2 are from Ichabod's life, and the next 2 are from Abby's life. What if it's her mom?
Ooh.
What if her mom's?
What are the 4 horsemen? There's War, Pestilence.
I don't know what the other one is, actually.
I'm going to look this up. 4 horsemen.
All right. It could be really interesting. It's because there's it would follow the trend of there are people that are connected to our heroes, whether or not they are...
Well, and 2 of the horsemen would be from Ichabod's time period, so 2 from the present. So Conquest, War, Famine, and Death. Conquest is... Pestilence. Is Headless Conquest?
I think so.
No, Death is...
Oh, no, yeah, he's the horseman of death.
Yeah,
sorry.
Duh. God, we're idiots if we say that.
Yeah.
Headless is Death. Henry Parrish is War. Then we have Famine and we have Conquest. Conquest is the one where with the plague, they named that one Conquest. So we don't know who Conquest is and we don't know who Famine is. So to think, I would say Famine would probably be Abby's mom then, if we're going to go that route.
Interesting. It's a crazy theory. But I think there might be some merit to it. Maybe not the mom, but definitely I think I'm going to throw this prediction down. I think she's going to be the 2 horsemen will be connected to Abby.
Oh my God, man! Frank Irving as Conquest.
It would be interesting.
That'd be crazy. And he was wielding that sword, and he had black eyes. So we don't know if he's actually controlled or he was actually making a deal to become Conquest.
I don't think he's a horseman because we didn't see him on horseback. But that's also like you don't want to tip that.
And just shouting out, we still have Franklinstein on the outs right now. We don't know where he's going to come into this too.
Oh, I'm so excited for him, Franklinstein, to come back.
Freaking Franklinstein.
But let's talk about the Pied Piper.
All right. So talking about the Pied Piper. So we get the storyline where we hear the flute, we hear the little girl escaping, and then we find out that, oh, look, this little girl's missing. What's going on? I don't know. So Abby and Ichabod doing actual police work for once, which doesn't make sense. Like, oh, this is a normal missing child's case. Let's put Ichabod and Abby on it.
Well, I mean, I understand why they would put Abby on it. What I do find interesting is that they've yet to issue her an actual partner.
Yeah, that's
in the
interesting.
department, because Reyes is very by the books. So you'd think that she would, like, detectives have partners. That's the way it works. So you would think that she would issue her. Maybe they're just short staffed. They have had a lot of deaths recently.
Deaths that apparently aren't mysterious enough to warrant letting some things slide with Reyes. But okay, so the daughter's missing. Abby's asking the parents about a bunch of stuff. We learn that the mom has history with Abby. She's her caseworker. She was her caseworker back when all that other stuff, past stuff, was going on. And in all of this, we have have Ichabod sneaking around in the background, looking through windows in the house. It's like, your girl was just taken, and nobody notices this really weird dude dressed in colonial clothing looking through your windows and snooping around.
Yeah, big bearded men. Like, he's the tall bearded man.
He's got a ponytail.
Flag.
He's safe. He's safe. He's got a ponytail. It's harmless. It's harmless. If you have a ponytail, you cannot be a child abductor.
We're gonna just move past this, I think. It is a little bit weird that nobody notices him, because he's not around the back. He is still in front, and Abby's like, "What the hell?"
And this is where we get him seeing the little shrine to Daniel,
the Lancaster,
the Lancaster lineage, which he recognizes the name, and he's like, "Oh, he was a traitor of the traitorous brigade." He doesn't like him.
He basically just, like, served himself.
Yeah, he says George Washington doesn't like the guy.
Which is like, if George Washington doesn't like the guy, he must be a dick.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, he said that he was with the British basically until the tide turned in the war, and so he supported the Patriots only at the end. But so history remembers him as being this rich supporter of the Patriots. But
he was not always that way.
Yes.
Whoopsie.
I thought it was really funny. Fan of the show, Langley M. Neely, he made a comment that, like, Ichabod Crane is basically the Forrest Gump of the American Revolution, by which I think he meant, like, he meets everybody and is involved in every single event going on at the time, no matter where it is, how insane it is that he happened to be there, know the guy. Ichabod is there.
But you need that.
You do, and they also somewhat explained it when they established that the founding fathers knew that he was going to be a witness. They were purposefully, like,
introducing him,
making sure he knew a lot and was able to be in the right places to have all that information.
So moving forward, they're investigating this. So they go into the woods to look around. They see some blood. Oh, it's some blood. And they follow the blood to a bone on the ground, which
I got a bone to pick with this scene.
I have a bone to pick with this scene too.
In the jar.
Yeah, 1350.
Why would he just pick it up and start playing it?
Yeah, I was like, oh, random bone on the ground. Better pick it up and put my mouth on it.
A human bone is on the ground.
Doesn't know it's human yet, even though now we know it's human. A 10-year-old girl's bone.
Like, he doesn't know it's from a 10-year-old girl, but it looks pretty human. That's not like a cow bone.
I tweeted out at this point, I said, oh, this episode should be called Bone in the Woods. And then I was like, wait, no, that might be a little misleading. But no, so they find this, and it's a bone with holes in it. He starts playing, and Abby starts tripping out like she's at a Skrillex concert, doped up on Molly or something, just like...
Nothing going on around here. She's focused on her goal, horse blinders on.
She sees ground where there's water, and she's walking forward and about to drown herself, and Ichabod saves her and realizes that the flute is interesting and brings up the story of the Pied Piper, which apparently doesn't have anything to do with pies, and I was very, very disappointed. No, literally, like, I was like, what the hell?
All right, anyway.
Thank you, Sean. This is if you're listening, Matt is here in spirit giving me a disapproving look.
I'm channeling Matt.
Zach's channeling Matt.
With my disapproving looks at Steven.
So they keep looking around, and they find, who could it be? Holly.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Got beat up by the Piper.
Piper messed him up good, sliced his leg open, and he's like, oh, what are you doing out here? I'm looking for a bone with holes in it.
You haven't seen it, have you? No. He just like sticks his arm behind his back.
No, we haven't seen anything that looks like that, Holly. What are you doing out here? Oh, well, I was doing some work in the woods late at night following this little girl. But it was work. It's not creepy at all.
I mean, they're basically setting up as this like sort of like Nathan Drake, Indiana Jones guy,
absolutely.
which I love. It's absolutely something I think this show can use.
Oh yeah,
and it's a lot of fun because there are like we now know we live in a world where there are all these crazy artifacts, like the 30 pieces of silver that Judas got paid, still exist in the world. That's fun.
We need the realist who doesn't dive in all the way. Like we need the people like Abby's in all the way. Abby's all in. Frank was all in. Ichabod's definitely all in. He's 300 years old.
Yeah.
But like we needed the guy who like understands what's going on, but doesn't really care that much because he's like, look, I'm just gonna stand over here in the real world side. I know it's happening, but you know I'm good. I'm good. Oh, you're gonna go after? I'm good. I'm gonna chill back here. You know, I didn't really get paid enough to go after a giant white-faced goblin thing with a white ponytail. Looks like he's straight out of Defiance. You don't need that. He's like colonial Defiance.
He's a scary-looking dude, man. Holly, like, he's going after a bounty at this point. Like, do you trust him at this point in the episode? Do you still trust him?
I think money's involved. I think he's a privateer. I think they're shoving it down our throats that he's a privateer, and I think they're trying to make you like him. So when he eventually betrays all of them, we're gonna be like, oh no, don't do that. But like, they're shoveling it down our throats that he's going to betray them in the end, and we're gonna be like, oh, don't do that because we like you. But at the same time, you know it's gonna happen. Like,
you know something bad is happening. Like,
you know he'll do anything for money, and that's
he's not just collecting this stuff for himself.
Yeah, it showed that he's collecting these things for Henry Parrish.
Nuts.
So I think the coin, everyone who's paying him to do things, he's working directly for Henry Parrish.
Yeah.
So maybe he should work for Ichabod if it's a family company. But seriously, like it's crazy because if Henry's after the flute, what other artifacts has Holly already gotten for Henry?
And what do they build to? Because he crushes up the bone. He doesn't care that it got broken.
What is with Ichabod's family and relatives putting 10-year-old girl bones in their mouth?
No.
Hashtag phrasing. But seriously, like, Ichabod picks it up. Oh, a bone on the ground. Better put it to my mouth and play it. And Henry's like, I'm going to grind it up. Oh, better put it to my mouth and taste it because that's good bone.
Well, it's Ichabod. Fairness to Ichabod, it was clearly a musical instrument. It was clearly designed for that. It's got the finger and holes on it. But I have to, like, I'm picturing, because it looks like a little cauldron. Like, I'm instantly thinking like he's. Yeah,
it's not a cauldron; it's a mortar.
But like, it's got that like ancient cauldron, and we have witches in this show. I'm thinking he has to brew some kind of potion to get Moloch up.
So the flute of a Pied Piper is actually a legendary artifact in like most RPG kind of settings, just as background.
Interesting.
Like it is a. If you're creating an item, oh, you need to get the Pied Piper's flute, and you need to get this, you need to get like the goblin's arm and things like that. It's of that ilk. Mm-hmm. So I don't see that not being correct.
Well, I love this version of the Pied Piper's story. Like the idea that he was a mercenary who was hired to do a job there was some British soldiers in the house, and they got a little too touchy-feely.
Milkshakes brought all the boys to the yard, and then he killed them.
I mean, like, and I like, you're watching the scene, like, yeah, they're like grabbing at these women, like they've clearly like done the British soldier thing and just like been like, we're gonna be staying here. Yeah. FYI.
So it was a garrison of soldiers. He got them outside, and then killed them all.
Yep.
And what's interesting, we learned that also, like, the Pied Piper likes to kill through exposure and dehydration and starvation, or he just keeps them in a trance for days at a time until they just fall over dead.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
But he also got, like, ninja killing skills from the devil. Or from Moloch, whoever. But, like, they said he, like, traded a bit of himself for the, like, speed. That's the way they describe it.
I don't know why. I feel like I shouldn't live tweet because all of my jokes get tweeted out instead of, like, said on here. Because, like, literally the entire time I'm like, oh, he's Donatello. Like, he's freaking learning from Donatello. And then they're talking about, have you ever prayed that you didn't do something in your past life, like in the past? And I'm like, yeah, I prayed that I didn't watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Like, stuff like that. And, you know, I enjoy the character design. I thought it was really cool. I didn't quite like how demon-esque he looked.
Well, I guess it's because then Lancaster betrays him.
No, because
Lancaster dumps him in the river.
Lancaster betrays him, dumps him in the river, and he comes back to haunt by taking the 10-year-old girl of the family every time they have one, and killing her and creating a new flute. So with a different power, I think, is what they said.
The way much more effective, like different music can do different things. So like he has a weaponized flute, and he also has like the alluring, like the elixir of tantalizing. What's
interesting is also like that they could record it and put it on like an iPhone, and I'm like, you upload that somewhere, and like you have the whole world just like tranced out and stuff.
Yeah, that's on iCloud now, man.
Yeah.
You can't put it on your cell phone just like with the MP3. That has to go into the iCloud. There's an Apple employee who's now wandering towards that woods.
Oh my god, like watch this episode of Sleepy, everyone downloads the song, and we have like half of the population of the people who watched it just end up dead.
Or just in Sleepy Hollow, which is a really tiny town. It is not a population of 144,000, FYI.
It's not.
No, the actual population is like 14. Like maybe 20.
So the story again is, God, again, I just think of like what all I was thinking during the show was like, it was such like a Family Guy reference where it was like, oh, this is like the time where the Pied Piper left a garrison of troops out, and then because they talk about exactly what happens, then later in the episode they talk about exactly what happened and show the flashback again. So I'm like, oh, this is like the time the garrison of troops got let outside and all brutally killed. Look at that. They're all dead. Fantastic. Pied Piper betrayed, and now he's taking the Lancaster girls. So they finally find her in this cave, which, you know, because you're wandering out in the woods and you see a little hole in the ground, you're like, oh, I'm going to go in there.
But not before, don't forget that they established that he kills a 10-year-old girl from every Lancaster generation.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we go over that?
Yeah.
It's late.
Yeah, no worries. It's 11:45 on the West Coast here, guys.
Anyway, but yeah, which is a really, like, he really hates the Lancasters.
I mean, can you blame him?
No. He probably watches Game of Thrones, got confused, Lancaster and Lannister. It's hard to follow.
A Pied Piper always pays his debts. So they find him, they fight him, he's like super fast, and this is where Holly actually comes in contact with a creature really for the first time, and shoots at him, can't shoot him, gets his leg cut up again. Poor Holly. And then they get the girl back, give Holly the flute, but not before it was broken in transit.
Yeah. Well, because they don't trust him, especially after they like don't want to give it to him. Which, like, in fairness to him, like, they made a deal, and he fulfilled his end of the deal. He helped them get the little girl out. He risked his life trying to help. They don't want to give it to him because it's a dangerous artifact.
Yeah, like the fact that Ichabod, who just puts a few notes in, and suddenly everyone's like, woo.
Yeah, it's dangerous. So
it's our Woodstock flute.
They figure breaking it
is better.
Is better.
But apparently it's good enough stuff for Henry.
Because it's not the ability of it, it's whatever power is infused in the bone that matters.
It's the magic. I'm really hoping somebody like makes a gif of that and puts in magic for me. Appreciate it. Here, I'll do it again for you. Magic. But yeah, so they take the girl back home. They leave her there, and they're like, oh, she's safe. Just chain her up to the attic so she doesn't escape again. They don't say that, but that's what I would do. So then they leave, and then they're like, oh, look, now the whole Lancaster family is sick under this plague-like curse. Uh-oh, this ain't good. So then they go back, and the little girl is gone with the mom. And they follow her out to the woods, and the mom's got a gun. And
like, the kids are sick, like... This is clearly a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
adopted kids.
You know what? I think greater good. Let's just kill our 10-year-old. I mean, he had a good life.
It's a really hard. It's literally Sophie's choice.
Pretty much.
It's, do you sacrifice one child to save the other, or in this case, to save two others? Like, what? It's such a horrible decision to have to face. And so, like, you can almost, you obviously don't want her to sacrifice her kid, but, like, you can almost sympathize with, like, the horrible situation that she's put in. Because while Ichabod and Abby have ways to fight this thing, she doesn't have any way to fight.
Yeah, and if you're looking to, like, I mean, if you're put in a decision where you have to make a choice like that, you know, the only real choice that you should do is to go to iTunes and rate us 5 stars and give us a comment, because if you do that, it helps us, keeps us searchable. I'm not as good at this as Matt is, but you know what? I can blather on about it for about 10 minutes if you need me to, but I'm not going to. But you should just go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, leave us a comment, because you get a cool little shout out.
Also, rating 5 stars keeps the Pied Piper away.
It does. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. And if you shave, it keeps Zach away.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I have my beard, because I don't want to keep you away.
I don't like scratchy.
Want you close to me, Zach.
I've got enough scratchy on myself.
Yeah.
Read the reviews.
Let's read the reviews. All right, so we have 5-star review from a Sleepyhead. That's the name of the review. By Dynamite Jones. Sleepy Hollow podcast. It's just as fun watching the show. Matt is a great host, and I really like that he acknowledges the fans. I enjoy the sound of Jackie's voice and listening to her opinions, and Steven is hilarious. Zach is awesome too, a perfect addition to this podcast. I have listened to these 4 hosts from various podcasts, and I will be rating and reviewing those as well. Thank you so much for the entertainment. All right.
AfterBuzz.
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 Thank you for that, Sean. Was that Sean or was that Marissa? I don't even know. All right, great chemistry by Tirical. Love who the hosts interact and reference the show minute by minute, in addition to how much loyalty each host has to their ship. I'm looking forward to discussions for Season 2. Oh, this was like 2 days ago, and they're still not on Season 2. Well, shout out to you when you get to this podcast, Tirical. Also, our ship, man, Frangeniki Merlving, and I'm kind of, after the previews for next week, I'm shipping Ghost Wanderer with Corbin. I think maybe that little Wanderer Ghost, Corbin, are gonna get it Ghost on. Okay, Root of Evil, CMPTRDEB. Love to listen to you guys after each episode. I don't know if it's true, but I've been hearing rumors that Katrina will be listening in to Henry and Headless's conversations. Wow! Do you think she will use a spell, or maybe just stand at the door? Oh, sorry, I kind of started ranting.
Maybe they should get her some noise-canceling headphones.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on that. I will start that. Jackie tweeted this out. I don't know if you saw this, by Lady Sheep. This was her favorite comment of the week. Shout out to Jackie. I sold my soul to Moloch, and all I got was this online law degree. That's the name of the comment. Wonderful show. Spectacular rapport. All the hosts are great, and the commentary is always on point. This is definitely one of the most entertainment shows on TV that's part Buffy, part X-Files, and part National Treasure, kid. Listening to this show is a highlight of my week. That's pretty awesome. All right, I'm going to speed these up. Love It by Fiction Boy. This is my favorite lineup, especially with Matt at the helm. Jackie is not a dime. She's a quarter. Jackie is the best, and she is very lovely and smart. Not that I go around comparing women to silver coins. Matt, it's in the cards. It's in the cards. Sleepy Hollow by Heather B210. Love the podcast. You guys keep me laughing, especially Matt. Keep up the good work. Where's the love for Steven and Zach? We're reading all the Matt love tonight, and we're not even having him here. All right, great show. I love it by Del Mario W. I just finished watching Season 1. Listen to the show after each episode. The very best way to enjoy my favorite shows. Watch them, then tune into AfterBuzz TV. Keep up the great work. Time to begin Season 2. All right, love this podcast. Only 4 stars, Flying Car? What the hell? All right, there once was a show that was great. That's why I'm here to rate. I give it 4 out of 5, coming up with the puns as they strive. As for my rhymes, please don't hate. Favorite AfterBuzz podcast, October, what's today, the 14th? God, we got a lot of them. Jackie1026, you guys have great chemistry and obviously enthusiasm for Sleepy Hollow, Corp, Trina, and ICHABOD. Can't wait for this year's Purgatory Prom. I think my date might have to be the new guy, Nick Hawley, assuming ICHABOD is busy. And that was the last one.
Cool. Let's get back into it.
Are you sick of me yet, Zach?
I love all these reviews. I'm excited to talk about the show.
Okay, so jelly beans in the ears, guys. Come on. All right. Nobody warned ICHABOD that earbuds don't stay in when you're doing strenuous activity.
That's why you got it. Earbuds are not the way to go. You want to have like a wraparound headset that cancels out, because those have a better chance of not falling off.
Yeah, like, come on, like 21st century, we can't create earbuds that stay in your ears when you're fighting the Pied Piper.
I mean, I guess that's not usually what they're needed for.
Okay, so they get these noise-canceling headphones that are blue light-up jelly beans because you need LED lights if you're going to have something noise-canceling. TV rule number 1. And they go to fight. Holly's out. Holly's like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I don't need to be part of this. You know, I got my flute and my flippy floppies. I'm going to be flipping burgers. You're going to be at the Pied Piper's house straight getting sloppy. And so... I tried. So they go after the Pied Piper. They find the mom. They convince her to put the gun down. They convince her that, hey, we're going to say, there's another way. There's another way. You don't know what it's like to have your 10-year-old daughter stolen from you every year. And my sister was taken. Sad face.
I mean, she witnessed it. She witnessed this happen. Like, it's this old family curse. And she tried to avoid it. She thought, like, if I adopt only boys, it's going to be fine. Nobody has to die. Nope.
That worked.
Nature finds a way.
Nature finds a way. It's like your son decides that he's transgendered at 9, has a sex change, and then gets taken at 10. Nature finds a way, Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, God. But yeah, so they go and they take out the Pied Piper.
Basically, and it's funny, okay, because I was laughing so hard at my own joke, and I'm sorry. The last thing they say to the Pied Piper is, "No more kids!" And they shove the spear through him. And I'm just like, is this how, like, most conversations go between, like, husband and wives before vasectomies? Like, no more kids!
Snip. No. Oof.
Just shouting. I feel like that just makes, like, any... Out of all of the cheesy badass lines before killing a villain, to shout, "No more kids!" It's like King of the Hill. That's my purse. It's just hilarious, but I love it.
I mean, it was a good ending. I liked this villain. I liked the design of him. I liked that it was rooted in a fairy tale that we were all familiar with. I think it actually, like, the idea of the Pied Piper, like, taking all these family members, like, collecting them in a way, is a great match to Behold, All Souls Are Mine, which is Henry's big thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many variations of the legend of the Pied Piper. There's the one who controls rats. There's the one who lures kids in. There's the one who lures women in. There's the one who lures, like, everything out, like animals. The one who can control animals with this flute.
Everybody likes flute music.
Yeah, you know. It's like Ian Anderson is the Pied Piper of Jethro Tull, who lures me in with his amazing songs like Aqualung. I should have started with Aqualung today, guys. But no, so it's interesting because we get this whole thing where he's like swinging around. We hear this when he's spinning it.
He's got like a bow staff with plays music.
Well, you see, like, it shows a close-up of it once you stab it through him, and we see that there's actually holes in it, and it's like a flute bow staff, which is cool, because I like that they always put the effort in on the character design. I've loved it since season 1, and I like it this episode. I didn't like what his head looked like. I wasn't a fan.
I thought it was cool.
It looked like they took bleach and threw it on the Green Goblin, but because I just didn't understand why. Like, I didn't understand why a human turned into this shape.
I guess in my mind it was the demon is put into him back in Revolutionary War. They kill the human part but it's still, because the demon can have a physical body, but the human part of him has been murdered, been taken away,
and mangled into what it is.
It's stayed in the water, like which like turns the body white. I don't know. That's my logic to how that makes sense.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't a fan of the look, but at the same time, I liked the story. I liked that they played it well. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So, no complaints there, really, honestly. And if we're going to talk about disappointing prosthetics, I mean, we host another show.
Oh, well, yeah.
Let's not get into that. So, I mean, that's pretty much the episode. Was there anything else you want to touch on?
Well, there was the coffee moment, and I feel like Jackie's missing.
Oh, and the car moment. We didn't mention that either.
Oh, the car. Let's do the car first.
Okay, so Abby's about to teach Ichabod how to drive, and she's like, look, my sister's had her license suspended twice, and you're going to learn from her and not me. And Ichabod's like, I don't see how you can control 300 horses with this one petal of a right foot.
Which also, this scene has added hilarity, because if you use the app Waze, the navigation app Waze, you can now make your navigation Ichabod Crane.
I use Waze.
Yeah,
I would
you
totally
can download. Let me see if I can make it do it. You could. I did this, and it's just like he's like, you turn your carriage to the left.
What? Oh my god, I'm doing that. Guys, if you have Waze, you need to do this, because that is amazing.
It's really funny.
So we see this, like, Nicolas Cage, Ichabod, Gone in 60 Headless freaking scene where he's, like, driving the car and he's rocking it out, because you know that Jenny's been teaching him good stuff. And he's like, I think I have it down, because the rider must become the mount. And I'm like, all right, cool. You can drive now. Voila.
He's got some, like, Hollywood stunt skills.
God, you'd imagine it's like a stunt driver did that scene. He's the only 300-year-old I would be okay driving behind.
Yeah.
And then the coffee scene, where the coffee costs the price of 3 Tennessee Stallions. And I thought that was a great Starbucks name for a drink. I'd have a pumpkin spice Tennessee Stallion.
That sounds like an alcoholic drink.
It does. It definitely does. Yeah,
but so I'm gonna fill in for Jackie here, even though but I also have to be myself. Like I'm pro Katrina, Jackie's pro Ichabod. So did you see that moment where she's looking into his eyes as she wipes the foam away? It was you could touch it, you could see it in her face that she's like drawn to him, that she wants to be with him. She's just, and he like is was it there, and it's so cute. But at the same time, he's married, and like that's such a cute friend moment as they get together. Even I have to admit, this is me, Zach, talking. Even I have to admit that yes, it was a little bit like that, and there's going to be a little bit of tension. But I think ultimately they wind up as friends. No, did you see the way that she looked at him?
That was more real. Falsetto.
That was real. There was real emotion there. There's real. Ichabod is right there in the foam. It's they like carved it in the coffee in the foam. Just look at it, Zach. It's right there. No, Katrina, he's married. He is a married man.
It's written in the foam. It's hot under the foam. Guys, let's go into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
prediction. I'm gonna follow Olivia Munn on Twitter. Hey yo.
Anyway, next week it looks like we got a Weeping Widow.
I love it. I'm so. It said for 3 weeks.
Wait, what?
It said for 3 weeks, Sleepy Hollow is haunted.
Oh, I thought you said in like.
No. But I just hope that this isn't a 3-week storyline. Please no. Please God no.
I mean,
no.
It's Halloween is coming up. We're real close to Halloween. I think that's what it's like sort of teasing to. This is going to be like a big Halloween sort of arc.
I hope so, but I don't want the Weeping Lady for all 3 episodes.
I mean, depending on where they take it. Like, she could start as the Weeping Widow lady and then evolve into something else. Like, your Weeping Widow is evolving. They said it was a tragic suicide. Like, it's specifically about Halloween. Like, they mentioned Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking that this is like they're gonna play it. It's the classic like Buffy thing where Halloween is the time where all the demons can come out into the world.
I don't think they're gonna play it that way, but I think they'll do something clever. I hope it's clever. I hope it's more clever than usual. And the writers are really good about that on this show, and that's what I can praise them for. Is that you're never not entertained by the episode. Even if you don't think it's a great episode, you're never not entertained by it, so you can't really say that. Does that make sense? Like, I can't really think of an episode where I'm just like, well, that was a crappy episode. I can't.
No.
So, I mean, bravo. Like, that, it's rare these days on TV to be like, oh, thinking about it. No crappy episodes.
The show
so
is
far.
Consistent. Absolutely consistent.
And they do their history research, and then they sway it a little bit. They sway it just enough to make it entertaining and intertwined. I like that. I think it's great. Predictions wise, I think this weeping person's going to be related to Ichabod's story in some way.
Like directly?
Like he had met her in way back when or something like that, maybe.
Maybe. She looked more like 1800s.
Really?
I mean, it was just a black like ghost in a veil, so I guess it could have been any time. It looked like that classic 1800s ghost.
I predict that next week on the show I have to drink 2 liters of something.
Did we reach that point in the reviews?
Yeah, we reached it this week. We got 105 written reviews on our podcast and 157 ratings, thanks to you guys. And I said 2 weeks ago, or last week, that if we hit 100 reviews, I would drink 2 liters of something on the show. Jackie said Fanta, I think, is the choice.
All right.
So next week, I got to drink 2 liters of Fanta and hopefully not pee myself during the podcast.
Yeah, you're not allowed to get up yet.
I'm not. I have to stay in the thing. So, I mean, if we hit 150 reviews, I might have to do a 3 liter.
I don't think they make those.
They do, and it's scary, and I don't want to do it. But if you hit 150 reviews, I'm going to have to do it. But that's our show. I'm down. Me and Zach holding it down.
Yeah,
Air high five. Bam!
Boom.
Yeah. And Jackie was here too. Hey, Jackie. Howdy ho. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Sleepy Hollow After Show here at AfterBuzz TV for Season 2, Episode 4. I always forget the name of this one. It was called Where I Send Thee. Go Where I Send Thee. Yes, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host for the evening, because Matt will be back next week. Stephen Lemieux. You can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, StPhenLemieux. I talk too much. Follow Zach at THATZACHWILSON.
Yes.
Say it yourself.
That's Zach Wilson. With Zach with a CH. And you guys can catch me also on, I just filled in on Ages of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm doing Resurrection, Z Nation, so many other shows. Please check them out. I
envy how fast you can say that. THATZACHWILSON. You kill it.
Yeah, man. Practice. I say it on every show.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Good night, sleepyheads.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.